Hi everybody and welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to be showing you this Gothic inspired pinup makeup tutorial. I do know that it is a lot more goth than pinup, but I think, you know, it has enough similarities to sort of add it in. I thought this would be fun for Friday the 13th since I missed out on doing a lot of Halloween content, unfortunately. This is a fun little spooky look for you. Yes, I do sometimes just do a look like this on a day-to-day basis. Yes, sometimes with the spider web on my eyebrow as well, sometimes including a little drawn-on spider too. So keep on watching to find out how to do this full look. So I am looking a little bit gaunt today, so I'll be going in with foundation first. At the moment I'm using the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop, and I've actually had quite a bit of trouble with this. I used to use it, but I don't know if it's using a different shade, but it's a little bit, I don't know, it makes a weird texture on my skin. So I am having to do my foundation sort of bit by bit, starting with a little bit of concealer on the forehead as well. Mainly because I find this foundation isn't actually as full coverage as it says it is as well. I like to pop it on my finger and then spread it around my face like that, and then immediately going in with a sponge. Now I know, as usual, this does look very white, but this foundation does oxidize, and if you can see my chest, that's definitely not the colour of my face. I do use a lot of concealer, and that's mainly so that I can blend it all around my face, sort of like it's mixed in to the foundation. I'll just do a little bit around my mouth since I'm having a little bit of a breakout at the moment. So I use about 3 pumps of this foundation. I find it really doesn't go that far. Yeah, as I mentioned, I used to use this and I had no problem, but now I kinda hate it. We've just gone into the second lockdown here in the UK, and even when we weren't in lockdown, you know, swatching foundations now is almost impossible. So that's the foundation all on. I know this is a Gothic pinup makeup tutorial, but this is looking, it's just my lighting as well. I have a sort of very cool tone set. So the good thing is I'm not actually having any of my texture issues I usually have with this foundation today. So I'm absolutely stoked. I'm kind of trying to decide what I want to do for eyes. Obviously I want to go for a deep purple look. I recently got the McGrath Celestial Divinity palette, and this has some gorgeous sort of, as you can see, like shiny and glittery fun purples. But then I also have my trusty Bright Matte palette, which has this huge range of purples here, going from warm purples to cool purples. I mean, I suppose I could always use a mix of both. I think I might use a mixture of both. This Pat McGrath palette is gorgeous. If you can see this purple, look at that. And there are a couple more like this one in here as well. Oh, I'm just obsessed. Part of the reason I don't like this foundation is it goes too matte too quickly, but it doesn't go, you know, it's not set. So if I'm making too many expressions, then I'll still set creases into my makeup, but then they're there sort of all day. So I'm just taking my powder puff. I'm just going to powder under my eyes very lightly where the concealer was. And I'm going to go in with a powder brush. Even though, you know, if you watched my videos before, I'm such a powder puff gal, but this one I find if I powder it all with the puff, it's just too much. And by too much I mean it gets really, really cakey and the texture gets really, really awful. I don't know, I'm disappointed because in New Zealand they didn't have the shade range they have over here, so I went to get a new shade. I used to have to mix 2 of them together to get the right undertone and then add in a lighter one. But I thought this one would be perfect, but it's challenging to work with. So I'm going to go into these sort of more cooler tone purples to start with. I'm going to take the light one on a fluffy brush gonna sort of start working it into my crease. Look, we want really exaggerated eyes. I'm going to take some more of the purple and we're going to come down in here beside the nose and blend it out into the crease. And you know, blend it out as large as you want. The point for these eyes is to be big. It's a good start for me. I'm just going to take it now into the next deeper shade of purple on the same brush. And just going in there again and blending out. And I'm now going to take this quite dense sort of brush and go in with my deepest purple shade and really stamp that in the outer corner and into the crease. Back to the fluffy brush and blending that all together. Great, so now I want to pop something in here. I think I'm going to go with this shimmery bluey purple shade. I use my finger for this one as I find it's just better for the glittery shades, and especially at McGrath's really beautiful ones. What I like to do is I like to get the shadow on the very top of my finger, look down and go up above my eyelids, so it's sort of creating, I don't know, it's lifting that feature shadow. And this is something I do practically every day no matter what colours of eyeshadow I'm wearing. I'm just going to blend that in gently. Gonna take some of that deepest purple shade again, just to help blend everything together. Actually gonna take what's left on the brush, just define this a little bit more. Now I'm probably gonna go in with black eyeshadow as well, but I will do that at the end. I want to take, this is just my white brush, I always keep this for white eyeshadow. It's just sort of like a flat, sort of cat's tongue brush, but it has some volume. So I'm going to take some white and I'm just going to go in there. I'm just going between my eye and this sort of nose shadow that I've made. I work it quite far in and I can come in with this brush just to blend it and make it a little softer, but it's just a sort of nice contrast if you're going to be doing all the same shades around the eye. With the under I'm going to do pretty much the same, starting with this lighter purple. And I want it blended quite far down, sort of coming off the under eye onto the cheeks almost, and you want this very soft. This sort of helps to create that vampire sort of haven't slept sort of look. Just gonna go in with the medium purple, so I'm sort of working with like a light, a medium and a dark purple. I also like to focus the shadow on the outer part of my eyes. It sort of enlarges it as you have this whole white space here. Speaking of, I'm going to take my white again and go under the eye. So I'm happy with that as the start of my eyeshadow, and I'm going to go into eyeliner and then sort of maybe come back into the eyeshadow for some black and some detailing. Moving on to the eyeliner. Of course, going in with my gel eyeliner on an angled brush, and we're going big. So I like to start just making a mark where my eyeliner is going to connect. Then I want to come out and up very high today and join this. Be thinking maybe I should do another how I do my eyeliner tutorial. I think I did one maybe 3 years ago. That's definitely not how I do my eyeliner anymore. I skip around a bit when I do my eyeliner. So after I sort of do the guideline for my wing and a bit of this, I like to go in the inner corner. And this I will also extend quite far. I do have a sort of guideline image from a look I did a few months ago. May, apparently. Oh, 22nd of May, if you know. I really liked that look. It had been a while since I did quite a big, intense, like, gothy pin-up look. And so I thought, being Friday the 13th, I would show you. I also meant to do this tutorial over Halloween, but in the last 2 weeks of October, I actually got really sick with a cold, and then I went on a little trip, and then I returned to work, so it was a lot. But I am here now doing this for you. Oh, I hope I'm not blocking that. Just making that wing shape, and then connecting it. Looking down really helps for doing sort of big eyeliner and stuff, because you can see what's happening in your crease and then it'll sort itself out. This is, of course, if you don't have hooded eyes. I'm just going to come into this inner corner again and connect it right in with the corner of my eye. I'm also going into the waterline here so that you can't sort of see my skin tone there. I think this is a big enough wing to start. I think you can always add more. So now that we're at this point, I am going to go in with some black eyeshadow. So I'm going to go in, at the other end of my white brush I've got sort of a fluffy angled one, and I'm going to take some black from my the big rainbow palette. This is also probably the best black eyeshadow I've ever tried. It's extremely pigmented and so matte. I've only just very dabbed that on there. I go under the eye, just going right against the lash line in there, so it sort of wraps around the eye. I'm going to take another dab and go into this crease. Good thing with an angled brush is you can really sort of carve out that line, and then you can go in with a fluffy brush to buff it out later. I'm going to go in with that lighter purple, just a touch, and I'm going to blend the eyeshadow out further, which this is sort of what I was talking about. I kind of wanted to do the wings so that I could assess the size and shape of everything. I think that is looking good now. I think my eyes look enormous actually, which I love. So now I'm going to skip into the brows. For this one, honestly, it's going to be one of my classic brow shapes. Very trad goth sort of style. So I'm going to come in probably this low. This is all just done with black eyeliner too. If you have eyebrows, it may be worth gluing them down. And honestly, the hardest part is deciding if I want to have them angling up or coming down. I've been very into my upward brow. I found that for most of October. Sort of going straight at this point, so actually I think I'm going to do that. So this is obviously not a brow, the faint of heart. It's very vampire, this brow. And what I was talking about with my eyeliner, I sort of do the same thing with brows now. I start in here, come up, and then I work on the tail, and then I work my way back in. And I like to go for a nice, I was going to say 90-degree angle, but course it's not, I'd say a 45-degree angle, but you want this line to be coming up straight. So I'm just gonna make a couple of strokes like that. Might make them a little bit longer since this is quite a bold makeup look. I'm gonna come in with some black eyeshadow and blend it together ish. You know, it's not gonna look natural, and that's the point. I really like that. So now I'm gonna do the other eyebrow. So these brows are quite extreme. I don't know, is this just a goth makeup tutorial? And should I make the wings bigger? Come on. But I sort of describe myself as a vintage inspired gothic pinup to cover all my bases, because I don't know, I don't 100% fit into any one style. My own sort of twist in it is I wear a lot of black. I obviously shave off my eyebrows and draw them on. I wear a lot of really heavy, really intense makeup, but I still like, you know, the traditional sort of vintage stuff and style. And like, I do like to wear true vintage, and sometimes I will tone down my makeup for a while. I find that a lot of people I talk to in the pinup subculture were sort of emo and goth in their earlier and teen years, which I think is quite an interesting correlation. Like it's a lot of people in the subculture will have been interested in that stuff and then transition into pinup. Not necessarily the true vintage people, but the pinups, they've often come from that style. But I don't consider myself like a goth. I just want to make that distinction. Not all my clothes are black. I listen to a little bit of goth music, but not really. I'm more of a metalhead. So this look will involve some contouring. I'm going to go in with this little NYX brown eyeshadow. It's just sort of the coolest brown I have that isn't too dark. And I like to start my cheekbones quite high these days. I'm actually not contouring most days anymore, but I like to start them high and bring them down. It's looking very warm. I might have to pop some grey in, which, you know, look at the eye makeup. Bringing some grey into it is not going to be the tipping point of going to extreme. Take my same brush. Obviously, I don't have a huge number of brushes. I probably have 25 to 30, which will sound like a lot to some people. One blush brush, one highlight brush, and I have a bunch of eyeshadow brushes. So if I have a lot, then I can sort of dedicate them all to one colour, and I don't have to wash them as often. So the brushes I've been using today are my purple brushes. Here is a green brush. It's a brush for blue, a brush for warm brown, a brush for cool brown and grey, which I actually used for a blue look the other day. Hot pink. It's a system that works for me. Some light grey on there. I'm sort of interested in using one brush in a range of ways and sort of using different techniques with it instead of, you know, having 5 brushes to achieve the same look. Like, this is a really nice blended purple eye, but I kind of mainly used one brush. And I do want to do my jawline as well. Blush time. NARS blush. It's quite purpley pinky, which is why I love it. And I've also been very into putting blush up here recently. Bring it down into the cheeks, but keeping it, you know, next to the eye. It's very sort of like 80s placement. If you think like 80s, very like avant-garde-y. It's just, I'm very into it right now. Sort of softly have it join the eye just underneath there. Take this brush and blend it out and into it a little more. I'm gonna go in with my very special highlight. So this is the Wet n Wild. It's one of those MegaGlo ones. This is from their Goth collection, like last year or the year before, and this is White Raven, and it's white with like a slight purple shift. It's a really interesting sort of pearlescent colour. That you can sort of see that purpley glow. I'm a big fan of this. I've been hoarding this one. It used to be my everyday, but then I realised I was getting low on it, so I've stopped, and I only really wear it for special occasions like today. So of course I'm going to pop my beauty mark on. This is another NYX product. This is their liquid suede lipstick. I love these. I bought like a Gothic collection, so it was this is a purple, by the way. It's just extremely dark. It was this dark purple. It was like a taupe and a grey. This is the only one I've kept with me. So I just go straight in. I'm not a lip brush person. It's an extremely dark purple, which is why I might mix some of this other lip into it. So what I want to do with this lip is create quite a pointed cupid's bow, which is hard when you know it's such a round doe fit, but and I'm also trying to keep these top lips quite straight. It's not as pointed as I'd like. I'll take this flat brush and I'm going to clean it pretty soon after, probably, so that I can get that pointed shape since it is so square. Just pop some lipstick on there. I'm going to take a little bit of this. This is Jinx. All the product details will be down below as usual anyway. This is quite a grey, mauvey purple. I just thought I'd put some in to make it a little bit closer to the eye look and not so like blackish, but I can't really see it that well. So, while I was looking at my photo of me, which is my reference for this look, I remembered that I actually have a little nose hack. This is definitely bordering on extreme. So what you're going to do is, yes, my nose is clean enough to show you. Take some black eyeliner, tilt up your nose. I'm just going to create slightly pointed nostrils with eyeliner. I really like it. You can see the difference there. It's sort of almost like a little bat. So there we go. My little nostril enhancement. It's very minor and probably no one will notice it, but it just makes your nose look very pointy. I do really like it. I'm going to go on to this little spiderweb thing, so I'll zoom you in a little bit. So the idea of the spiderweb is it's sort of connecting your brow to your liner. So I'm just going to start with my first line. I love that the little bits of my brush have already ruined it, but say la vie. I actually have some scissors, so I'm just going to cut them off. That way they don't ruin the rest of my look. So just bringing some more lines down. I'm just bringing them into the crease for the moment. My other picture I did like a dangly bit with a spider. But I don't really want to do that today. I can't be bothered drawing a little spider essentially. if you're using a liquid eyeliner, this is a little bit easier. Gel is really great for some things, but it's not super thin and precise like that extra thick line I've just drawn on there. Yeah, because it has to do with the pressure and stuff. Like, sometimes it's great, so maybe it's just not my day. Doing these, yeah. Not liquidy enough. I don't have a liquid eyeliner because I don't use liquid eyeliner on my eyes. I absolutely hate the feeling. And gel liner's not the easiest. I don't know, maybe I should have thought ahead and got some before doing this look. But we're here now. Draw some little strands. These will make it look more like a spider web as well. Not too bad. So now I'm just gonna take these lines down my eyelid so they connect to my wing as well. I'm not gonna do loops on these ones. So, you know, it's only gonna be when I blink that you see that it continues, and since it's such a dark purple, you know, you're not really gonna notice it anyway. So I'm just doing a little bit of final blending on this eye. Taking this Lancome booster thing, this plus the McGrath mascara have been so good recently. These two create such a good looking eyelash without the need for falsies, and it's still pretty easy to remove. Like, neither of them are waterproof, so I just take some water on my fingers and like rub it into the mascara. This lash stuff has had enough time to sort of start to dry down. I'm gonna go in with the mascara. I also like to, it seems like a mistake, but I quite like this sort of look if the mascara one kind of touches under the eye, because the black kind of adds to it. I swear, it's not a mistake thing, it's something I genuinely like to do. I've just sort of gone for an all purple, which now that I'm looking at it, I want to add some red. Okay, I find the red I want. I like that. So I've just popped a bit of red in that lip as well, so it gives that a little bit more, you know. Now that concludes my Gothic inspired pinup makeup tutorial. Not so much pinup, much more goth in this, but you know, it's sort of where my style comes from, is sort of like a combination of both, so I sort of see this as a combination of both. You know, we're not doing sort of like big white and black sort of landscaping things. We're using like quite nice eyeshadows, quite a lot of blush. You know, this contour is not super goth harsh. So I would say this is a mix of both. So this is a great makeup look for Halloween, Friday the 13th, May the 22nd, anytime you feel like feeling spooky. And you know, you can scale it to sort of your own features and your own style. Oh, just flicking my makeup brushes around. You know, like the brows, they can just be your normal brows, but you can fill them in maybe with black at the very ends if you're not blonde. You don't have to do the spider web. The eyeshadow can come, you eyeliner up to your eyebrows. Obviously, you know, my natural eyebrows are here, so I'm definitely going over with the eyeshadow. Let me know what you think down below, and of course if you want to recreate it then please do, and then tag me on Instagram, and I will see you in the next one.